Hello, welcome to this 30-minute Vinyasa flow practice. We'll start in a comfortable seated position and just placing one hand over your heart and the other hand palm facing down on the knee. Dropping the chin down slightly and just closing down the eyes. We'll be focusing on opening the heart today. So just drawing your attention to the warmth of your hand over your chest. Noticing if you can feel the beating of your heart. Noticing the rise and fall of your breath into your chest. And noticing how you feel today, just at the start of this practice. Just acknowledging however you feel without judgment. Keeping the eyes closed and just gently guiding the hand that's on the knee on top of the palm that's over your heart. And just taking this moment to send love to yourself. And just taking a big inhale together, breathing into this heart space. And as you exhale, blinking the eyes open, releasing the hands wide for a cactus. Lifting the chest and the gaze, drawing shoulder blades together. Taking another inhale. And exhale, reaching the arms forwards as you draw the chin to the chest. And pulling the energy all the way back to your heart space using the hands, taking an inhale. Exhale, releasing the elbows, drawing shoulder blades together for our cactus, lifting the chest high. And on your next exhale, rounding through the spine, using the hands to draw all the way forwards and pulling the energy back into your heart space as you begin to lengthen the spine. Inhale for a cactus. Exhale, rounding through the spine, pulling the energy all the way back to your heart. And releasing the hands forwards, making your way over into an all fours position. Stacking shoulders over wrists and hips over the knees. Or inhale to drop the belly, lifting the gaze up high as you arch through the spine. Exhale to tuck the tailbone under, drawing the chin to the chest. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, and begin to shift the hips back towards the heels. And inhale as you round through the spine, shifting the weight forwards over the wrists, and continuing this wave-like movement through your cats and cows. So arching the spine as you shift the weight back towards the heels, and rounding through the spine as you shift the weight forwards to the wrists. And we'll just meet with our spine rounded and coming to find a neutral spine. We'll extend the left leg away, pointing the toes, finding that one long line behind. And lifting in the core, reaching the right arm all the way forwards. And just pointing the left toes up to the sky, reaching behind with that right hand and maybe catching the foot and the hand together. And even kicking the foot and the hand as you lift the gaze, arching through the spine. Taking 2 rounds of breath to pause. And releasing just the right hand down to the mat, extending the left leg for a moment, and then drawing the left knee in towards the chest, planting the foot down at the top of the mat, and reaching the arms all the way up to the sky as you find your low lunge. We inhale. Exhale, cactusing the arms, lifting the chest and the gaze. Sweeping the arms all the way down as you tuck the back toes, lifting the arms up to the sky and extending the back leg away for a high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, planting the back foot down at 45 degrees, interlacing the hands behind the lower back, lifting the chest, and using your exhale to bow down to your humble warrior. Maybe the arms fall above the head, drawing the left shoulder towards the left knee. Taking one more round of breath here. And then releasing all the way back to center, releasing the arms away for a warrior two. And then windmilling the left hand down, then the right. Lifting in the core to step the left foot back to meet the right in downward facing dog, crown of the head totally heavy. A moment to reset. Taking 4 rounds of breath in your down dog. We'll lift high on the toes just to lower the knees down to the mat to find our all fours. We'll extend the right leg away, finding that one long line behind, pointing the right toes, lifting in the core to extend the left arm. Lifting in the core to extend the left arm all the way forwards, that one long line. Taking an inhale. And then kicking the right toes up to the sky, reaching behind with the left arm, maybe hovering in space, or maybe catching the foot in the hand and kicking the foot into the hand to lift high in the chest. Lifting the gaze and arching through the spine. Releasing the foot from the hand, taking the left hand back down to the mat and extending the right leg for a moment, and then drawing the right knee into the chest, planting the foot down at the top of the mat. Finding your low lunge, reaching the arms up to the sky, taking an inhale. And exhale, just to cactus the arms, lifting the chest, opening that heart space. And tucking the back toes. Sweeping the arms down towards the mat, circling all the way back up to the sky as you reach up high for your high lunge. And then dropping the back foot down at 45 degrees. Releasing the hands to interlace behind the lower back, lifting in the chest and the gaze, and using your exhale to draw right knee towards, and using your exhale to draw right shoulder towards the right knee. Humble warrior. And lifting the chest all the way back up to center, reaching the arms up to the sky, and planting the hands down to the mat, lifting in the core to step back to your downward facing dog, taking 4 deep breaths. We'll inhale to roll through the spine to shift the weight forwards into plank, and then taking a soft bend into the knees as you lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, spinal way forwards to find plank. Exhale, bending the knees, hips high, downward facing dog. 2 more like this. Inhale, spinal way forwards. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. This time taking a spinal wave all the way forwards to your plank, lowering the knees down as an option or keeping them lifted as we take our chaturanga, bending in the elbows to lower the body. Inhale for your back bend, cobra or knees lifted with up dog, and tucking the toes, lifting the hips high for your downward facing dog. Or inhale, lifting the right leg up high for three-legged dog, stacking one hip on top of the other. And then as you exhale, drawing the right knee in towards the chest, planting the foot down between the hands, back foot plants at 45 degrees and windmilling the arms wide for your warrior two. We'll flip the front palm and tip all the way back to reverse warrior. The back hand can rest on the thigh or sliding down towards the calf. Taking one more inhale. And exhale, reaching the top arm all the way forwards. We'll come to find our half moon. So taking the right fingertips to the right diagonal corner, lifting the back leg up high, one hip stacking on top of the other, and reaching both arms into one long line, keeping the gaze down or taking the gaze up to the sky if you want to test your balance. And keeping the left knee lifted. See if you can draw the left knee all the way into the chest. Keeping that left leg hovering and reaching the right arm forwards, left arm back. Maybe taking the right hand onto the right knee, keeping that left arm reaching all the way back behind you and finding a moment to balance, maybe taking the gaze all the way back towards the left hand just as an option. And releasing the gaze back to center, keeping that left knee hovering and kicking the left foot behind, taking the left fingertips around the left foot. Keep kicking the foot into the hand as you tip all the way down to your dancer. Maybe your right hand reaches forwards. A moment of play and balance. Releasing all the way back to center, can you draw the left knee in towards the chest, reaching the arms up to the sky and taking the hands to heart center in prayer, shifting back with that left leg, finding your warrior three, option to reach the arms behind. And wherever you are, soft bend into that front knee to take the left foot down behind you, reaching up to the sky, and as you exhale, taking the hands down to the mat and moving through a vinyasa, or just meet in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. Taking two more breaths. We'll inhale, lifting the left leg up high this time for three-legged dog. And exhale, drawing the left knee in towards the chest, planting the foot down between the hands, back foot at 45 degrees so we can windmill the arms open to warrior two. Flipping the front palm as we tip all the way back to our reverse warrior. Maybe you can bend a little deeper into that left knee so it stacks over the left ankle. Taking another inhale. And exhale, windmilling the arms back to center, continuing the shift forwards, taking the left fingertips down to left diagonal corner, lifting the right leg up high for our half moon. Arms are in one long line. And see if you can hold your balance as you draw the right knee up in towards the chest, reaching the arms up to the sky. Before releasing the left arm forwards, right arm back. Left hand can come towards the outside of the right knee. Maybe the gaze comes behind you. Keeping the knee lifted, releasing the gaze back to center, reaching the arms up to the sky and begin to kick that right foot back, catching the foot with the right hand. And maybe tipping forwards, kicking the foot into the hand more. For your dancer, reaching that left arm forwards. Just playing with your chest to balance, releasing back to center, drawing that right knee in towards the chest, reaching the arms up to the sky, and taking the hands down to prayer as you shift the right leg all the way back for warrior three, maybe extending the arms behind you as a variation, and then taking a soft bend into the left knee as you plant the right toes all the way back, reaching the arms up to the sky for a moment, and then taking the hands to the mat, stepping back to find your plank and taking a vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Taking 2 deep breaths to settle. And gently lowering the knees down, out wide to the edges of the mat, big toes touching. Reaching the arms away as you sink into a wide leg child's pose. A moment to reset. A moment to center into your mind. Noticing how your body feels as we're halfway through this practice. Noticing how your mind feels. And gently shifting the weight forwards into the hands, bringing the knees so they're stacking underneath the hips. And just reaching the arms forwards for our puppy pose. It's a deep heart opening posture. Maybe the chest comes all the way down to the mat today. Maybe even the chin. Just finding wherever you want to hold for a few rounds of breath, aiming to stack the hips over the knees. This can be an intense posture to hold, so just coming back to your breath. Feel the breath into your heart space. And then taking the hands back in, pressing your way all the way back up to all fours, taking your time, and just coming to sit back on the heels when you're ready. We'll come to a kneeling position up on the knees, tucking the toes under, bringing the hands to heart center in prayer. We'll come to find our camel pose today. So just shifting the weight back slightly. Feel free to stay here with the hands in prayer, or maybe the hands rest on the lower back. Or if you feel able, taking one hand onto the ankle, then the other hand onto the other ankle. Staying here, lifting in the chest. A final option to tip the head all the way back, taking the gaze all the way behind you, really opening in the throat and the heart here. And when you're ready to release, tucking the chin to the chest, using the hands on the lower back to guide yourself safely all the way back up to kneeling. And sinking the hips down onto the heels, untucking the toes, finding a restorative child's pose, wrapping the body around the thighs, arms come down, back behind you, lowering the forehead to the mat. And just feeling that rounding of the spine, just to counteract the arch. And rolling up through the spine to release the restorative child's pose, taking the hands out in front of you and lifting the hips high to downward facing dog. Taking 2 deep breaths. And then taking small steps forwards to the top of the mat, bringing the big toes to touch. Sinking the hips down, sitting back towards a chair pose. Reaching the arms all the way up to the sky. Pausing for a moment. And see if you can lift up onto the toes, lifting in the core as you sink the hips all the way down to the heels, and then releasing all the way back down to lying. Keeping the feet at hip distance apart, and taking the arms down beside you, palms facing down, we'll just roll up through the spine to our bridge pose. Feel free to stay here, or maybe you tuck the shoulders under one than the other, interlacing the hands behind the lower back, just for an extra lift. Releasing the hands and gently rolling down through the spine, coming back to the mat. We'll take this bridge pose one more time, or if you have a wheel in your practice, feel free to take this option today by taking the hands up above the head, pressing into the hands to lift the hips all the way high, pressing into the feet, really lifting in the chest. If you're in wheel, feel free to come up high on the toes today. And in your bridge or your wheel, just drawing your attention to your heart space. And coming down whenever you're ready, really taking your time. When you get back down to the mat, just drawing the knees in towards the chest and wrapping the arms around the knees to give them a squeeze. Releasing the arms wide to a cactus. We'll cross the right leg over the left and allow the knees to tip over towards the left side, gazing over towards the right side for a lying twist. If this feels too intense, just uncrossing the legs here. See if you can ground both shoulder blades into the mat. Taking 4 deep breaths. And gently uncrossing the knees as you draw the knees back in towards the center. And taking the hands on the outside edges of the feet, drawing the knees up towards the armpits for our happy baby. Releasing the feet. Drawing the knees in towards the chest, extending the legs up to the sky as you release the arms wide for your cactus, this time crossing the left leg over the right. Bending in the knees, maybe shifting the hips over slightly, and allowing the knees to drop over to the right side, taking the gaze over towards the left. Taking 4 deep breaths here in your spinal twist. And uncrossing the legs, releasing the knees one then the other back to center, wrapping the arms around the shins to give them a gentle squeeze. And on your next exhale, releasing everything down to the mat. Releasing the legs out long, ankles gently rolling out. Arms down beside you, palms facing up. the eyes soft or closed. Each exhale a reminder to melt a little deeper into our mat, releasing tension across the forehead, releasing tension along the jaw, collarbones and shoulders, all the way down the arms to the fingertips, releasing tension in the upper, the middle, and the lower back, any tension in the abdomen, the hips, the glutes, all the way down the thighs to the knees, releasing tension in the legs, the ankles, and the toes, releasing the breath, relaxing your mind, gifting yourself a few more moments of total rest. And I'll let you know when it's time to come back. Shavasana. Gently drawing your attention back to your breath, back into your physical body, guiding yourself over onto one side for a moment, keeping the eyes closed. Our Shavasana represents rebirth from our corpse pose to fetus and up to a reawakening. So when you're ready, bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position, placing one hand over your heart, one hand grounding down onto the knee. Notice how you feel different from the start of this practice to now. We'll keep the eyes closed and inhale, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky until they meet in prayer overhead. And as you exhale, drawing the thumbs to the third eye, we inhale for happy thoughts. Inhale, drawing the thumbs to the lips. We exhale for kind words. And inhale, taking the hands to your heart center. And exhale for loving actions. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.